Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack. At Augusta, he's on his final hole. He's about 455 yards away. He's going to hit about 2 iron.
Oh, Billy.
It's so awkward when you do that.
It's so enjoyable, though.
But with the mood lighting.
The new ambiance is nice.
Isn't it good?
Well, it's kind of
Allie
difficult
crushed
to be
it.
talking like that.
Okay.
That's a peach, huh?
That's a peach, huh? Thank you, Laura, for that recommendation. You like the new music?
I do. New music's good. Good work.
I'll give you $1 if you can tell me who it is.
I can't. I feel like I missed out on that $1.
Yes, it's a big bug you missed out on.
Dude, it's been a while. I haven't
Yes.
run this in a bit.
We are back in the studio.
Highly enjoy listening to you and Joel and Laura. It was wonderful.
Joel was an excellent interview. I'm so glad that we got him on. It was a great story he had. I really enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, I agree.
And have you seen his major marker release yet?
Which one?
The new one. He just showed it today. It's really good.
I haven't been on Instagram.
It's
I'm gonna
really
check it
good.
out real quick. Hold on.
So Joel's story was fantastic. That's one of the reasons we wanted to start doing this podcast, was to introduce everybody that listens to people they may not be familiar with, and even if they are familiar with them, give them a little bit more of a story about them. And Joel's story is great. How Atomic Golf came to be. Right?
That is sweet.
It's very good. It is
I gotta
very
get-
good.
I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, him and True Tech hammered
Man,
out another
they
one.
crush that. That's gorgeous.
It's special. He's pretty
So
proud of
those
it.
who have not searched them out, Atomic Golf, go look. Take a little gander at the new Open Championship.
Yes, it's pretty
So
special.
I think it was incredible. I love hearing the backstory of people. I mean, I think that's we talked about it before. I can't remember which episode, but the fact that there's so many ways to relate to each other in golf, and I think his story is phenomenal. So
I was so
yeah,
eager to hear how he came up with Atomic Golf, and then to find out how it was
so cool.
outstanding. So if you haven't listened, go back, do
Yeah.
yourself a favor, listen to that interview.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's totally awesome. It's explosive.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's so good. It's late.
Yeah. At least that wasn't a DEF CON joke or something
Yeah,
like that.
you know
That
when
could-
it says DEF CON jokes, it's awkward.
So
but
we're gonna get into some golf chat here. It's been a while since Ryan and I sat down and discussed some of the stuff. I mean, we do it a lot personally, but sitting in front of the microphones, it's always fun to sit around and banter about stuff. And the next major is coming up here in a week, and it's the Open Championship, or the British Open, whichever you prefer. I really don't mind.
No, there's only one. They corrected that. It is no longer the British Open. It is the Open Championship.
Well, I know that, and you know that, but
The average golfer needs to know that now.
well, tell that to ESPN, who
They're just bitter.
yeah, I don't care. I mean, growing up, it was the British Open, and I mean, I understand now that the proper term is the Open Championship, so that's what I call it, because that's what it's supposed to be called. But if somebody says British Open, I don't chastise them if somebody says Nevada or if somebody says Illinois.
Oh, I do chastise because I absolutely chastise them if they say Nevada.
No, I do too.
Although
You know
technically,
I do, but I wouldn't
guess
do it
they're
over
kinda
this.
right. I mean, even though we pronounce it this way, it's our chosen pronunciation. But I mean, the Spanish word of Nevada is Nevada.
Oh, you're just pandering to Clayton right now.
I know. Hashtag Clayton comments. I had to get it in early. No, but on a sidebar, before we get too deep into what is the Open Championship and how excited we are, come on, ESPN and golf. Can you guys make up? It drives me crazy that I don't get more SVP in my life when it comes to golf. When they were running the Masters, it was incredible. When they moved from the Masters to the Open Championship, it was also incredible. I don't understand why we don't have them. I'm not buying that it's about money. I don't think it. I think it's about something that is
probably
a difficulty in advertising or somebody.
The powers that be behind
It's a problem.
Disney and NBC that
I think NBC's just trying to put a stranglehold on the whole thing, which is why they basically sub out Jim Nance and Sir Nick Faldo for all these other. I mean, they did it for Fox. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I think I think that ESPN represents a very cool experience for the non-dedicated golfer.
Yeah.
When you put it on ESPN, people will watch it just because it's on ESPN and they leave ESPN on. And you're going to get more golfers that way. And they used to show so many more golf tournaments, and I think it's a problem.
It's a 30-second clip now of the winning putt. And that's pretty much
it's heartbreaking because SVP will do his one big thing on it every single major tournament. That's what he talks about because he's passionate about golf, as are a lot of the people over at ESPN. And yet we refuse to let the mothership get involved. And I think it's a problem.
Yeah, they definitely could have a bigger.
I think it could be Dan Patrick's fault. You know? Because when he was involved, so he used to be very heavily involved in the Open Championship and in the Masters. Okay,
he'll tell you what he shot at Augusta.
Yeah, I know. And I'm a fan of Dan Patrick. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I love Dan Patrick. I listen to him every day.
I still think that I think he plays off that he's not bitter with the mothership when he clearly is.
Oh.
And I think that might have something to do with it.
Man, very well could.
You know,
it very well could.
But it does bother me. So I digress.
the Open Championship heads to Ireland for the first time since 1951.
I gotta be honest.
I found that out today.
I wouldn't want to go to this one. It's gonna rain the whole time, man.
Well, it's what it's supposed to do.
I don't care.
Come on,
if it rains in St. Andrews, I can walk on a bridge.
Think about the last couple, Opens. There hasn't been crazy bad weather.
Yeah, maybe they did it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, we'll go where the weather is.
We need to amp this up a little bit because this is getting ridiculous.
Truman Show. Somebody turn on the rain.
We can't have guys walking around in t-shirts or short sleeve shirts. So we'll probably get ourselves a little Open preview the next podcast since it is coming up next week. Mm-hmm. Off the top of your head, who you like? Oh, that's a big sigh. I'm gonna have to edit that out.
No, you can leave it in there. Who do I like? I think Molinar is really hard to beat in this tournament because he's so consistent, and it matters if you put it in the fairway. I think if you get weather, I think Tiger's a factor. I actually think Ricky's a factor.
Really good weather.
If the weather gets nasty. I think that Lowry's really good in the nasty weather.
But this is going to come to a surprise. I'm not going to pick Dustin Johnson.
He's not good out there. I even though I know he's good everywhere. I think Koepka's always going to be in the mix. I get this weird feeling that Mark Leishman's going to matter.
Oh, good pick.
And I don't know what it is. I'm not saying I'm picking him to win it because I'm not. I just think that he will matter. I think he'll be in the hunt.
So going back to our most recent major champion, how do you think Gary Woodland's going to fare now that he has
Stinger 2 irons all day? He'll be fine.
Oh my God!
But I don't think it will matter.
You don't think it'll matter? Why?
I don't think it was enough of a psyche jump.
No,
I think his psyche was already there. I don't think that he knew. I don't think that he had the experience closing, but it wasn't that he didn't know how. I think that I look on some of the tournaments that he came in his runner-ups, probably 4 or 5 of them, he didn't give the tournament away.
No,
somebody took it. Somebody took it.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the nature of the game, but I don't think he took this. And that's not to take it away from him. I think that I really don't mean it that way. I don't think that he had to. He put himself in a position in day 1 and day 2 to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Period.
Clearly.
And nobody was close. I mean, truly, nobody was really close. I don't think he had to go out after it and win it.
He just had to go play.
He had to not lose it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'll be honest, I think that's harder. So I'm not saying that what he did wasn't incredible, because I do think it was. There's an airplane coming, by the way, in case you guys can't hear it. You probably can. It's a huge airplane.
That's a big airplane.
That's massive.
Hi, people on the plane.
Hello. But do you understand the kind of the difference?
I totally get it. I'm hoping that it.
I hope it fuels him. I would love to see him win again.
Oh man,
he's such a great guy.
He's such a great guy, and he plays really really solid fundamental golf, and he's got all cylinders firing right now, and even though he just missed cut, but I think he's has that experience now of what it's like to be on top of the leaderboard
right.
in a major and finish out, and I'm hoping that he exponentially grows that and can take it to another event. And
there's this small part of me, I mean, we're talking really small, because I don't dislike this player, but I don't particularly enjoy golf with this player in the front of it, leading the golfing world. I'm not a big fan of him being the front man. But it would be really special to see Rory win. In Ireland, I mean, I know everybody's rooting for it, but it would be special. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
Be very special.
I
don't want to see him do it.
I don't think
because there's so many other people that I think. No, I think he has a chance. But I there's a lot of other people I'd rather see win. But it would be interesting. It'd be a good story.
I think for me, what would bring me the most
Tiger Woods, no question.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But I love the way Ricky plays over there. I love the way he plays the golf courses. I love his. If
he could win his first major and be an Open Championship, he could die. He'd be good.
So good.
Because that's the one you want to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that a lot of guys want to win the Masters, but every time I hear somebody talk about it, they want to win the Open Championship. It's the greatest championship in golf.
It's not the greatest championship to watch, but historically, it's the one.
If I could only go to one, I would go to the Masters. If I could only win one, I would win the Open Championship.
Ooh.
It's really simple for me.
You'd pass up that dinner every year?
Absolutely. For legendary history, yes. Claret jug. I mean, look, the green jacket, it's a jacket, bro. That thing's a jug.
That you can drink out of.
I can drink out of
on a plane. Okay, so that's our pre-open.
Also, shout out to my wife. It'll be our anniversary on the 21st, which is always during the Open Championship week, because she loves me somehow. And we always stay up for the first night. It's usually on our anniversary. This year it'll be on the second night. Very excited.
I watch it alone because everyone's asleep.
It's depressing.
But I enjoy the hell out of it. I don't mind saying it's beneficial being on the West Coast because they start around midnight. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. I enjoy it.
Real quick before you switch, what's the best Open Championship moment you've ever watched live?
Live. Okay, so let me think here. The first thing that pops in my head is Jack Nicklaus on the bridge.
Really?
On his last.
I wasn't old enough for that.
That's the first thing. I mean, if I close my eyes and look, I just see Jack with his leg up waving, and that one. If I had to think of another one
that you watched live,
man, I don't. None of them really. I mean, Tiger when in '97 was. It was 97, right? No.
Mm-mm.
His first. When was his first one? I don't remember.
90.
When he just destroyed St. Andrews.
No, 96 maybe. 96 or 97.
Well, maybe 97. He won in 96 in Vegas, so that was.
So then it had to be 98.
98.
Mm-hmm. It was during the Tiger Slam.
Yeah, that watching him just destroy that golf, people were just amazed. I mean, it's like anything they had ever seen, like an alien landed on their golf course and just destroyed it. Like, this isn't a hard game.
Right.
That was pretty special. What's yours?
Phil Mickelson, Henrik Stenson, no doubt. I was up at 6:59. They closed it out at 7:45. It was the best Open Championship I've ever seen. It was everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah, that was
in an Open Championship.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think that is that bad. That I don't have a great golf tournament recollection. Yeah. I don't remember a whole lot about specific events. There's moments.
Like with every tournament, there's always a couple of moments that I'll just like Bubba. I missed when Bubba won the Masters. I was running a tournament. I was managing a tournament for a gal here in town up at Dragon Ridge, and I know our beer runneth empty. But I was managing a tournament for this gal up at Dragon Ridge, and I missed the entire Masters. It was the first time I had never watched it, right? Except for one shot, and it was a shot out of the pine straw.
The mess.
And,
Such a good shot.
He literally hit the shot. I called my wife and I said, he's going to win the tournament. And then I hung up.
Yeah.
And then she called me freaking out because he won the tournament.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
Good.
Only when Tiger wins.
Only when Tiger wins, you cry?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick before we get into some other stuff that we're going to talk about, I just want to get your take real quick because this is the hot take. Everybody's talking about Mr. Matt Wolff and
Hot take.
And his unorthodox
Swing your swing, bro.
Swing your swing, bro. This is my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome for him. Congratulations.
That's not a hot take.
That is a hot take.
No, it's not.
Okay,
That's a lukewarm take. Give me a hot take.
I will be shocked if this swing holds up over time.
That's a hot take.
I will be shocked.
Why?
It's because it's one thing to be young and flexible and athletic.
It has nothing to do with that.
It has a lot to do
It's
with
geometry.
There's a lot of movements in that swing. There's a lot of movements in that swing.
But that's not athleticism in the sense of agility. That's timing. When you're talking about movements, I don't think of agility. I think of timing.
Okay, well, for example, the most closest in relation to unorthodox swing is Furyk, of course, with his loopy upright swing. But that I feel for him is more of a controlled swing, and I see Wolff's swing as a very aggressive, powerful swing, and I don't see that transcending to consistency over time.
Let me give you two comparisons, okay? Because I think that you're misunderstanding his what he does before he swings. Okay, so his movement before he swings is his trigger.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Jason Duffner. It doesn't remind me of Jim Furyk because Jim Furyk's is a loop swing. Jim Furyk has a 2-plane loop swing. Oh. Jim Furyk to me would be compared to Ryan Moore. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's got nothing to do with how they get into the swing. It's got to do with the two double planes of their swing.
I just see
Matt Wolff still has really a 1-plane swing, but he triggers it the way Duff does. Like he has that evident. This is how I'm going to get into the movement.
Yeah, I get the trigger. I just see it as a lot of movement, and I'm just
timing would be difficult. Could be difficult
if he rocks it for the next 20 years and he wins 85 tournaments and 16 majors. Congratulations, awesome way to go. Good for you. And I would be super excited
but you don't think
to
it's
see
gonna
that.
Hold up.
I just see. Knowing I'm not trying to compare myself to any tour level pro whatsoever, but knowing what has happened to my body as I've aged.
Let's compare him to Tiger. What Jason Day? Pick a player.
Yeah.
Those that have made major swing changes, Mike Weir. Over time, stuff doesn't always hold up.
Yeah, exactly. And
so you're not wrong. I think that there's a risk there.
I think it's cool to watch. Don't get me wrong. I love watching it.
Have you seen Johnny Ruiz swing?
Who?
Johnny Ruiz.
Not off the top of my head.
He's playing web.com tour, and he played some in Japan last year. He's another Genghis guy.
Mm-hmm. Now, I heard today Wolff isn't a Genghis disciple. Genghis changed his teaching based off Wolff.
Yes and no. So I've followed George Genghis for a long time. Okay. So what he does is all about an individual's unique biometrics, right? Or biomechanics, not biometrics, biomechanics. So he looks at you and says, okay, this is what you are capable of swinging based on what you've shown me, right? Here are some things you can do to potentially change that, but some of these things you just can't change. It's the way you're made up, right? Yeah. But ultimately, if we get you rotating, okay, you're always going to get more of your speed from the rotation that occurs in your core, okay? And that's a fundamental of every good golf swing at every level, period. So Absolutely. He gets, this is how I need to help people understand that. Now, how I get him there is unique. Everyone's going to be different, and he came with that baggage when he got to George. And George said, well, I'm not going to get in the way. As long as you get here and here, do whatever you want.
Okay, so I want to ask you this. because I've had this discussion with James a couple times, and a couple other people that I know that are out there grinding away. Do you like the exemption and him winning, and now he's got status for 2 years? He's in the Masters.
He's only in the Masters for a year.
Huh?
He's only in the Masters for a year.
Well, I know, but I'm saying he's in the Masters. He won on.
He won a championship.
He won a championship.
Yes.
Championship.
I know. I hate it, but it is what it is.
So, are you okay with a college kid coming?
Absolutely.
You're fine. Okay.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I just.
If I could get him younger, I would.
Yeah.
Honestly, look, it's the same thing as the NBA to me. You know, golf and modern sports have become profitable. Okay, most of the major modern sports. Golf is no exception to that.
Yeah, but the NBA is a little bit different because.
Tell me how it's different. Then talk to me about Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth.
Because you can
Justin Thomas.
Hang on. In the NBA, you don't have guys competing on lower levels that can go out and play.
Yes, you do. The G League.
The D League is not.
G League. And yes, it is real.
I know it's real.
But that's what it was really successful the last 2 years.
But you have guys playing the Web.com tour that used to be on the PGA Tour. Because they've lost their status.
But the NBA kids, dude, the NBA kids have been playing basically professional ball with their level of competition within 4 years.
But it's not
within
pro
a
ball.
4 year
It's
within
not,
a 4 year range.
It's not pro ball though. It's not.
So
you mean to tell me that Zion at Duke going up against Maryland is pro level talent?
No, Zion should have been able to go straight to the NBA no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
So should LeBron. So
he did.
My point is they shouldn't have to go to college. They shouldn't have to do any of it. They should have the right at 15, 16, 18, whatever age to go be a professional. I don't care how old you are. If you can professionally do the job, then do the job.
Yeah.
If you can't, go away. Right? It's not like they're serving alcohol here.
Yeah.
You know? So I guess that's my thing is, and look, dude, golf has become really homogenized as it relates to the business side of it. Right?
Yeah.
So Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, these kids are getting thousands of dollars of free stuff at 10 years old. Like thousands of dollars. Free trips, sponsored trips all over the world. Okay, not all of them, but the elite. So you're telling me that it's better to force those kids to go play these other tours?
No. I don't think. I'm not saying that. I was just curious if you were okay with giving a player an exemption. Has he earned? Now he can play. There's no question that he can play on this level because he just went out and won the tournament. But has he earned a spot like other guys have? Has he gone through?
No, because he's better than them.
Because he's better than. Okay, that's. See, I think there's guys that are just as talented and can play just as well.
But they didn't win.
But they didn't get the opportunity.
Nah, it's not a fair statement.
Nah, not opportunity. They didn't. I mean, yeah, he performed in college. He won the USAM. I mean, It's not
but that to me, that like I said, take all of his other accomplishments away. He comes from nothing. He steps up. He wins that tournament. Why can't the rest of these guys win that tournament? Because he just won it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you.
I think if you win it,
I mean, it closes the door on all the
boom.
Yeah,
I think that's
I belong.
it. Now, one thing I will say is it has been a great change over the last 2 years. I love that if you don't win a tournament, you don't just get to go get an exemption. You can't just place to get your exemption.
Yeah,
you got to go back to the web.com and you got to win there, and then you can move up.
Yeah,
you know. The only gripe I have about it is if you're going to force them to go back to the web.com, freaking pay them better. Like, make it worth their while. Because if you're not going to make it worth their while, then don't do it. You know? Or provide, if you're not going to pay them more on the web.com tour, because you can't because there's not enough attention on it.
That's the big thing.
Then create more leagues that have direct routes like the web.com tour.
Oh, wait, hang on. Wait, we've made a mistake. It's the Corn Ferry Tour.
Is that what it is now?
Yes.
Oh, it officially moved? I thought that was just that one event.
Oh, no. It's no longer the web.com tour. It's the Corn Ferry
Is
tour.
That like a company?
Well, I had no idea who they were, and I looked them up. And
what do they do?
They're an investment
So they bought the web.com.
They've got $2 billion in assets. I mean, they're doing okay, but yeah.
But they bought the web.com.
They bought the naming rights.
So Corn Ferry Tour, whatever.
Corn Ferry.
I guess that's my thing. If you're not going to pay more,
Corn Ferry.
If you're not going to pay more, then give me 3 in the United States. Give me 1 in Canada. Give me 1 in LTAM.
Well, they have other,
but make them equal.
Yeah, that's.
So hey, we're gonna promote 10 players from each of these leagues. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way it's working right now. I don't have any issues with it right now. The exemption thing, I go back and forth, but oh yeah, it's fine. Okay, yeah, it's not. But
I think that the misunderstanding is that he's getting an advantage.
No,
because I think it's a disadvantage.
How do you see it as a disadvantage?
Here's why. Think about how many one-time winners, first-time winners, early in their careers, never win again.
Never win again, yeah.
Never are relevant.
It's not
never
easy
are relevant again. Because see, the problem is he can't go play the web.com now. He can't go dominate. He can't go get his chops. Make sure that he feels good about it.
Yeah, he's got to go
show up against the best every single week for the next 2 years. He doesn't get a vote.
Nope.
So the misunderstanding, I think, is that it's a good thing to get that you're helping him by giving an exception. If anything, I think it's a hindrance, unless you're really prepared.
I don't think he's hindering right now. I think he's pretty happy that he's.
No, I know that, but let's look on average, right? Like how many of these guys go out and do that again?
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
Look at what's his name, Paxton. Is it Paxton? Peyton, the dude from Sea Island, Georgia.
John Blank, sorry.
He won at La Quinta. He's Titleist sponsored. Anyway, he won once. He won at La Quinta.
This year?
No, this was like 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's too much Google work.
And he was relevant for a couple others. And then now he's usually finishing in the top 80, top 50, 80, every tournament as his best finishes. He might come back out of it. He may not.
Yeah.
You know? Because and you look at the guys coming from web.com after winning 4, 5, 6, 7 tournaments.
Corn Ferry.
Whatever. I just can't. It's like the Harmon Tour. I still want to call it the Harmon Tour. Anyway, okay, we need to switch gears.
Yep. Okay, so let's
talk about the Stableford.
Yep.
So I'm headed out on Wednesday at 5 a.m. We fly out. So Jude and I have to be at the airport and bring my son at 3 a.m. So that should be an adventure. Allie is, bless you, my neighbor. He's sneezing. I won't tell you why, but I'm sure it has something to do with how much he's been smoking.
I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Matt looks really relaxed. Anyway, so Jude and I leave Stableford. Jude and I leave. I'm very excited. It's my first kind of away tournament. You know, Brian, I wanted to do the battle at the beach, but I was really hesitant to see if it would succeed, candidly. And wow, did I regret not going.
That looked like a great time.
It looked like a great time. And it was so well run. Brian and Shell and they just do an incredible job of managing these. And I know it's not just them. There's a whole lot of other people that support and are part of it. Short Par 4 is a consistent sponsor for them. Cobra's involved. Coobs is involved. Atomic Golf
is doing the markers.
Which I'm really excited about. I think Western Birch does the tees. Is it them that do the tees, or is it
Berg?
Berg does. Berg Golf does the tees. But I mean, there's a lot of people. Wedge Wizard supports it. Jacob does. There's a lot of really cool camaraderie that's created from this. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to run it, right? And they're doing a great job. So I saw it go really well, Battle of the Beach. I was really mad at myself for not going. And I didn't want to miss this one. It's at Innisbrook. It's like a mile and a half from where my mom and stepdad live. So my son gets to go hang out with them. I get to go have a good golf weekend and compete. And I'm really excited to compete, to be honest. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've never played a Stableford tournament before. I had a mindset shift today which was the only thing I'm going to spend any time thinking about is birdies.
It's a good thing to think about.
If it's not a birdie, I'm going to forget it. I have to forget it.
Yeah.
Literally, I just got to move on. Done. Move on to the next thing. Because in Stableford, you have to score.
It's the only way to play.
And so I've really...
That's why I don't.
Yeah, so I'm off 4, so I have not been playing up to a 4 candidly recently, but I am off 4, and so I really have to be able to be putting it in close and giving myself a chance to.
Have you played Innsbruck yet?
I've not played Innsbruck. I've had dinner there at the resort, but I've never played there. We're playing Copperhead twice and the other course once. I don't know what the other one is.
Oh, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. We've got a cool dinner thing. Bradley Putter just doing a putt off on the opening night.
The glowing dark putter. Have you seen that?
By the way, I got all the reports back. I've settled on which I'm taking.
Oh, this is breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
I'm bringing the Logan Olson.
Woohoo!
And I'm also bringing the Bradley putter that I bought from Todd. And I practiced with it today and yesterday. Got out for, I think, 3 holes today. 1 putted all 3 holes.
Nice.
Balance is really good, but both have a little bit of different loft on them. They're Tiff Eagle Bermuda greens, so there's going to be a lot of grain. It could be really wet. It's likely to be really wet when we're out there.
It's Florida.
So I want to have a couple different options, but I'm taking the Logan Olson.
Which I brought with me to let him take tonight.
I'm very excited. And then I'm taking my Bradley putter. So, but Brad Converse will be there. He made a glow-in-the-dark Stableford tournament putter. It looks so sick.
I think it's so cool.
I really want to win it just for that. So I'm really excited. Oh, he would love it. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think what I would say, I want to see more and more of these tournaments start to happen. And I know you're working on something.
Yes, we are.
We got a little stuff cooking with some fellow over at PXG that we're excited to potentially announce soon.
I put a little teaser on Instagram the other day.
But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's not anything like what Brian and Shell are doing. And I think that's one thing I want to point out is I think a lot of times in our industry, if you will, in the golf industry that we're hobbyists in, right? I think that a lot of times people see and replicate. And I think it's always important to be careful how you do that. Whether you're a boutique craftsman, right?
Right.
Or you're looking at, illustrating another idea or bringing another idea to life that's similar to what somebody else did. I think it's important to make sure that you go through that. And, I think what they're creating is kind of a culture of golf tournaments there, but also a competitive series of golf tournaments. I know what we're working on is more about just getting a bunch of people together and trying to go and getting some fitting done, getting a cool experience during an overseed time, and that could be really special. But it's a totally different vibe. I look at what they're doing, and I want to go because I want to compete. I want to go and I want to have a chance to win. I want to compete with these guys, and I don't have a lot of opportunities to do that.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan. And that's
good for you. I mean, you're a good stick, so that's good for you.
Well, but I think anybody, look, if you're not here, everybody doesn't need to want to be the best at this, right? But everybody should want to play their best against the golf course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that there's an element of competitiveness there that sometimes we're lacking and I think we're afraid that if I get too excited about trying to win, whether it's beating the golf course or beating the guy I'm playing, I think sometimes we get nervous that if we're too competitive, that we will, it'll ruin our golf experience, Yeah. And I don't think that's the case.
No.
I think there's that way to balance it.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that way. There's a way to be competitive and enjoy yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a great job bringing those experiences to life.
Yeah. So here's the question for you. Why aren't you going?
It's just timing.
Yeah.
I just had the Bandon trip.
Oh, that's true. That's right. That's why we talked about that.
I'm trying to.
It's gonna be hot as balls, dude.
Honestly, it's
the Battle of the Beach will be a good time. Though.
I'm not a huge fan of Florida golf.
Yeah,
I've played quite a few. Well, I mean, there's hundreds, thousands of courses down there, but
we should.
I've not enjoyed a ton of. I mean, I enjoyed Crooked Cat at Orange County because I played well.
Right.
I love Stream Song Blue.
Well, Stream Song Red kicked your butt.
Stream Song Red kicked me. Rochambeaued me, man. But I enjoyed the experience out there. It was a blast.
You enjoyed?
Even it was 40-mile-an-hour winds in our face. But it's something about Florida golf that just, I don't know. It didn't excite me. One, the competitive side of me it hasn't flourished yet, and it's still a little seed looking for some germination. It's there. I just got to grow it. I don't think I expected to hear the word germination on tonight's podcast. That's a cool. I bring
cool
relevance
drop
from all over the place.
So here's something that just popped in my head.
But
we should probably find a way to work with Brian and Shell. I mean, there's a really cool venue in Las Vegas called Las Vegas Country Club.
If you could talk them into it. I know they've said that they're keeping them in Florida because it's where they work, it's where their family is, and it's difficult for them to get out.
But I think everybody likes to go to Vegas. Everybody loves to come to Vegas.
That would be pretty epic.
We need to make sure we cut this little piece out and send it to him. He's not. Let's just be honest. He's not listening to our podcast.
No. Well, I've tagged him a couple of times, so he better start.
This is how you know that this Stableford conversation isn't actually advertising, because I know he's not listening to this, and I'm talking about it anyway.
Well, we need to change that.
All right. So what else? So we were talking about. So let me close the book on that. I'm very excited to go. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see everything.
I got some personal stuff also with my mom, so I'm excited to go kind of get a handle on some of that stuff with her. She's not been feeling good, so
good family time.
Good family time, and then go from there. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But this leads me into the competitive side. Okay.
Okay.
So we're talking competition. Then we're talking about being better.
Okay.
Talking about being better. It starts with putting better.
I had a really cool experience the other day.
I feel like I led you in well there.
He did. I met up with a guy I met through Instagram, Eric. Eric, forgive me, I'm not recalling your last name right now. But Eric
Greeley?
Yeah, he's based out in Texas, in the Dallas area. And he's a huge Golden Knights fan. And that's how we kind of connected. I was admiring some of his Vegas Strong stuff, and he was admiring some of my Golden Knights gear. And he was coming into town for the UFC fight, and we hooked up and played Royal Links. But he also lives, from what he told me, literally right down the street from the guys at Breakthrough Golf Technology, the people behind the stability shaft. And so he went and told them that he was coming out here and that we were, interested in seeing him after we saw him at Club Champion.
Eric Greenlee, by the way.
Greenlee. Sorry, Eric.
2 A's.
2A, yeah. And so they said, here, take 2 putters and let him know whichever one he likes, let him keep it, and let's do something together. So I was excited because at Club Champion, I went through the Sam.
We just tested it.
Yeah, went through the Sam putting lab with my Vegas 58 putter, the Olsen putter. And that was a pretty neat experience. You hit, I don't know if anybody's ever done it, but if you haven't, basically you hit 7 balls and they evaluate your impact, your speed, your path.
Rotation.
I mean, everything. It's pretty impressive, all the information that you get back from it. And the information came back and said we needed to adjust a loft, said we needed to adjust a lie. And that was pretty much it. My strikes were good. My path was good. The consistency was good. David is telling me, he says, there's a lot of good things I'm seeing with this. And so after we made the adjustments, now that putter sets up so good. I mean, I look down and I'm like, oh man, I'm making everything with this. Just it was so neat seeing that side of it, getting fit, not necessarily fit, but getting getting
fit.
Getting the adjustments made to it so it fits me better.
Right.
And so I went home and was rolling putts with it like crazy. And then, so we get out to the course. I played the first 2 holes, and then on the par 3, Eric says, he goes, hey, why don't you roll the new putter? And I'm like, oh, yeah, totally wasn't even thinking about it. I was in a roll with, just playing. And so I walked up to the 3rd green, drained like a 10-foot putt. And he's like, oh, man. Okay, we need to take a little cigar break. Not that there was any technical difficulties
None
at
at
all. None whatsoever. Nice little cigar break on this nice summer's evening. And we can get back into it. You know, before we get back into what I was talking about with Eric and that stability shaft and the True 2 putter, we did get our first voicemail.
Oh no!
And
should we play it?
I think I wanted to play it.
Is it safe to play? Did you listen to it?
Well, I'm gonna let it be a surprise for everybody.
It better be not explicit.
Let's see.
I like long walks on a golf course. You know, evening walks.
This guy's a creep.
Does anybody recognize that voice?
Trying to find my ball.
Okay. I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, if you set up a voicemail line, you know I'm gonna call, right?
Oh, I was like, I was kind of excited. I'm like, hey, somebody! Crap! It was Ryan.
Well, it's funny because I told Todd to call in because he was ready to quit the other day, and he had a rough day.
Yeah.
It actually had nothing to do with golf, like his golf game. It had everything to do with, you know, I think one thing that I wouldn't say that we take it for granted, but one thing that we certainly get to enjoy here because of our friendship and everybody else that we both know individually and together, it makes.
You just got attacked.
Was it a bee?
I don't know what it was, but it definitely wanted to get in on the podcast.
It was huge. The biggest fly I've ever seen.
It was. He let his voice be heard.
Is he still here?
The revolution has begun.
Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway.
They're going to start with podcasts.
This has gone on way too long. Anyway, long and short of it is, one thing that we get to enjoy is that we have each other and
you're freaked out right now. I can see it.
I keep hearing it. This thing's freaking me out. All right.
So
there.
Yeah.
That's something else. But anyway, but Todd's gripe was not that he wasn't playing well. Todd's frustration was he doesn't have very many people to play with. One of his buddies, one of our good buddies, got hurt this year.
Oh.
And
whoa,
some wind. And I think he tore his Achilles, or he either tore his Achilles or his ACL. I can't remember. But either way, it was bad. Oh, God.
Man,
what was that?
There's some weird stuff going on right now.
Yeah, it's super weird. Let's finish this
Hey, you know what? Todd just called me today, and we chatted. He bought some Trues.
Oh, he did?
He bought some Trues. He bought some knits.
And he likes them?
He just bought them today. He was calling, asking me what I thought about them. And
I love my Trues. The only thing is most people don't know, but you can go down, so they don't do half sizes.
Well, the inserts, what you were talking about.
Yeah, so if you ask them, they'll send you a thinner insert, so you can go. So I actually wear, I think, 11s. I'm a 12, but I wear 11s and then get a thinner insert because it hugs my foot a little bit better. I don't wear socks with them. So
yeah, he's looking forward to it. So
yeah,
that was cool.
All right. So anyway,
before we decided that we needed to partake in some cigars, I was talking about the stability shaft that Eric brought down and how much I enjoyed putting with it. And I'm looking forward to spending a little bit more time with it, getting to know it a little bit better. We're actually playing tomorrow with Clayton Comments.
Hashtag Clayton Comments.
Hashtag Clayton Comments. And I'm torn. I want to bring the Vegas 58 now that it's fit to me. But after putting so well with that putt, I think I'm going to just game it again just to see. And I know the greens at Revere pretty well, so.
Yeah, and Clayton will want to try it.
Oh, absolutely will.
He's as much of a golf nerd as anybody. Those who haven't heard, go back a couple podcasts and go hear.
Did you want to talk about Club Champion at all, or
I do. I want to talk about. So you mentioned it earlier when you did the Sand Putt Lab thing. I think not enough people pay attention in the fitting process. We posted some of the stuff both there and with PXG. with Peter over at PGA here in Vegas. Your fitting process, you gained 10 yards, Carrie?
I gained 10 yards carry, 15 yards total over my gamer, and I'm pumped.
And some of it is the technology in the head. I absolutely think it is.
I really thought with the way that my attack angle and how much spin I put on the ball, I thought I was going to go with the X. But actually, that's one thing that I enjoy about going through a fitting is just because you think you know something doesn't mean you do. Right. And the numbers didn't lie. I mean, you can't argue with the numbers. And they came back. I was way more consistent with the XF and the Kurokage shaft. And
one more thing to add to that. So, you're not just getting the Kurokage shaft stock. We're tipping in an inch. So one of the things that people forget when they go through the fitting process is they go, oh, well, I'm just going to find the right shaft that works and just the way it is, right? Well, there's this thing called tipping shafts, and you can slightly change balance points, flex points, kick points. You can slightly change the frequency of the shaft, make it a little stiffer, but it's really important that when you're going through that process, you keep that in the back of your mind. You ask your fitter about it, because take that shaft, for example. So I think it was a really good fit, with the exception that it needed to be a little bit stiffer.
Yeah, I don't swing it really hard. I'm working on that. I actually swing my 3-wood faster than I swing my driver. It's just there's something with me and the paranoia of being a chronic slicer for so many years that I hesitate. I'm reluctant to go after it. And it's one thing that I learned with the fitting is when I went after it, not 110%, not 100%, but 90% just going, I was more accurate. I had better numbers. And, I posted this on Instagram the other day. I had 143 ball speed, which typically for me, I'm like 140, 139, 140.
139, I think is more accurate,
yeah. Yeah, the smash was 149, which is
consistent,
really close.
You're pretty good at hitting the center of the face with most of your clubs.
The spin was 2,500, which I was happy with because I'm 3,000. I mean, I'm three.
Actually, you were 3,300.
Yeah, the
average.
The Rogue Sub-Zero is what I play right now. I play
with the weight forward.
With the weight forward, the heavier weight forward, because the weight in the Sub-Zero is heavier than the weight in the Epic. Mm-hmm. And my carry was 249, and total was 276, which that 15 yards over the Rogue on the total distance, and I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, it's not huge, but it's good for me. I think I was a little bit more excited about the accuracy and the ball flight that I was getting than the distance.
Well, that's what you mentioned earlier. You're usually afraid to swing that hard because you're afraid it's going to go to the right. But what I see usually, we talk about this all the time, is your miss really is a pull left. Uh-huh. It's like a dead pull left. It just,
and it goes,
but that's your miss.
Yeah.
And I think that's as equally to blame for why you don't feel like you can swing hard, right? You didn't have one pull left.
No, not
and
one.
You didn't, and getting the right, the difference between the X and the XF for you was you didn't, with the X, you still got that wild right guy on a couple of those shots. You didn't get that with the XF.
Not at all. At all.
And I would argue that you didn't get your longest drive with the XF. I think you actually got it with the X, but sacrificing that extra 3 yards, 5 yards
for consistency
on one random drive and eliminating a bad miss to the right and a pull to the left, it's a big win.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be here in, you know what? I actually showed Peter. I put a countdown clock on my phone when it's going to be here.
So I'm happy you're joining the PXG family.
PXG troops, here I come.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm I'm there with the Woods. The jury is out of the irons for me until I can hit the blade.
What did you think of the new putter that we saw?
So I putted with it again twice today at Roger Dunn or the Las Vegas Golf. What is it called now? Las Vegas Golf Superstore.
Yes.
So I went there today to get Glenn. By the way, if you guys do need club work done, opposite sides of town, you've got Club Champion. No disrespect to Glenn, but go see our boy David. You want tour level fitting experience, he's there.
David and Julian are great.
David and Julian are great. Great work. Did the stamping, did all my grinds. Very impressed. I would prefer to go there for most of my stuff.
We told them they have to put a store in the south side of town.
Really,
it's a 45-minute drive for us to get there.
But I was supposed to go there today. I had a meeting come up, so I had to go to the Las Vegas Golf Superstore instead. Glenn, great guy, great club builder. Got me all set up on my with a new shaft adapter thing. But I went there and I tried the putters again today. And here's my take. My take is I never had a problem with the marshmallow face. And I like it. I don't prefer the firmer face on the new ones.
I liked it. It
doesn't feel bad.
It was the first PXG putter that I looked down at, and I didn't feel like I was looking at a wild, radical design.
Yeah.
That you're used to seeing.
MOI.
Yeah, I mean, it was some of their stuff that, I mean, no disrespect to them. They're obviously know what the hell they're doing. I'm not a fan of the designs of the putters.
Well, but a lot of their guys don't play their putters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perez.
Yeah, a couple guys do.
But remember, they made the gunboat for him.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't playing their putter. He was playing a spider. And he said, I want this, but I want a rounded shape, and they made him a gunboat. So, I mean, I think that they listened, but I agree. They're kind of out there.
Yeah, and these new ones are really
classic.
They're good on the eyes. They're good on the eyes.
Yeah, I think so too. So great fitting. So one of the things I wanted to bring this up for, I know we're crunching on time. We have something we really want to talk about at the end here. We'll try and keep it tight. So one thing that I wanted to talk about as it relates to fitting, we got a bunch of questions in the comments to our stories and to our posts regarding when we were going through the PXG fitting and the Club Champion stuff. And I think that one of the things that really was important to point out, and I said this in a couple of comments to these guys, they said, so I need to go get fit. What do you recommend? Find a fitter that communicates to you in a way that you can understand. Now, let me be clear. Everybody learns differently. Everybody hears differently. So that's not to say there's one fitter that hears you better or that hears everyone better than another fitter who doesn't. That's not true. I think you need to find someone that has a communication style that you feel comfortable with, someone that you also feel comfortable with when it comes to understanding your swing, right?
Yep.
And then go in, if you can get to a place like a Club Champion, what's the place in Houston?
Impact Golf.
Impact Golf. If you can get to a place that has Sellinger does this up, Art Sellinger does it up at Sellinger Golf up in Utah. If you can get somewhere that has access to a system that allows you to eliminate variables, so the head is always the same. Try 20 different shafts, but the head is the same, right? The adapter's the same. Everything's the same. TXG does it too.
Yep.
Right? It's about eliminating variables so you can see the differences. You can't see them if you don't maintain consistency in those variables. So I think go anywhere you can go to do that. If you really want a good fit, look, Club Champion is more expensive than Golf Galaxy. It is what it is. It's more expensive than PGA Tour Superstore.
But there's a reason.
But there's a reason for it. It's because when you go get fit there, you'll probably not get rid of your clubs for a long time, because they're fit for you in a way that other fitters don't quite have the resources to do that with, right? With that said, if you don't get along with a fitter, don't go there.
Yeah.
Buy them somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And that's where, that's why it's really
there's
important.
a lot of information. I mean, I went when Impact Golf out of Utah was at Dragon Ridge, where PXG is now.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a driver fitting there. And you want to talk about mind-blowing experience, because I was dumb to the golf shafts. I was oblivious to, I knew there was different shafts, I knew there's different kick points, I knew there's different weights, but there was still a lot of the aspects that I didn't understand. And as I learned it, it was eye-opening. It's like, wow, you really can fit somebody to their swing with a golf shaft.
Yep.
And that is something that I was oblivious to. I always thought it was, okay, you want stiff, and me not being as educated back then as I am now about it, it was so overwhelming. So make sure that if you do go into a fitting and you hear something and you're not sure what they're saying, ask.
Well, and prepare to go in for a period of time.
Yeah. You want to spend some time with it. You want to be loose and you're going to be swinging for a while. But don't put yourself in a situation to where you're saying yes to something that you don't know what that means.
Yep.
Ask questions. They're never, I seriously doubt whether it's David at Club Champion or your guy at Roger Dunn or even Bob at Bob Allen Golf.
Yeah, Bob.
I seriously,
Allen's team up in PGA Tour Superstore.
I seriously doubt they're going to look at you and go, "What are you doing asking me a question?"
Yep.
They're not in the business to just crank out clubs. They're in the business to get you fit so you enjoy the game more.
Yeah, and they want you to come back.
Absolutely. If you have a poor fitting with somebody, you're not going to come back, no matter who it is.
I think Chris. So Chris Reedy over at Aloha Golf. He's kind of like, I feel like he's like the drug dealer at the country club. Like he kind of, because like Hunter started with a hybrid with him, right? And it went really well, and he liked it. And then he went back and got a driver. And then he went back and got a fairway wood. And then he went and got some irons. And because when he got something fit there and it worked really well for him, all of a sudden he has a level of trust
You're gonna go back.
that it can work again,
Uh-huh.
And I think that's really important, So when it comes to the fitting stuff, what I wanted to point out is, look, we don't get, for the record, we're hobbyists, right? We don't get paid a dime for any of this stuff.
No.
We do it because we love it and we want to grow the game and we want to see people get better and we want to see people become more educated. And that's what we're after here. We're not trying to influence the market.
No.
We're trying to help people navigate it.
I've been hashtagging anytime I talk about a fit or anything, I'll throw in the hashtag to get fit. Clayton said it when he was on, you want to get better, go pound balls. Go pound balls. And absolutely, you're going to get better. But if you want to improve, getting fit so you have the right clubs in the bag for your swing is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Like I said, when I want to reiterate this one more time, we're not here to influence the market. We're here to help the market navigate what's available to them, And I think that leading into our next conversation, I think it's really important because how do I say this the right way? So MyGolfSpy is for those of you that may not know, because not everybody does.
Not everybody does.
They're an entity that has been developed over a period of time, about 4 or 5 years. Started as a forum, about 4 years. They started as a forum with the intention to talk through clubs, but also they wanted to help. I truly think at the beginning, their goal was to help golfers get what's right for them and stop listening to robot testing. Right?
Yeah.
I think their theory and their belief, their core belief, is that the robot testing isn't real because it's not
a person,
right? And I think that that's truly at the core of who they are. I think that's still a belief for them. The problem that I have with how they approach trying to educate the market is that they do it from a perspective that says, hey, we've sent a bunch of stuff out to get tested by regular golfers. And the stuff that got tested, right, had to be the results. Those are what's real, and nothing else matters.
And
that's wrong. It's no different for me than Matt Wolff swinging his swing, and Bryson DeChambeau swinging his swing, and Jim Furyk and Ryan Moore. Look, at the end of the day, we're all different golfers. But when you tell people that you represent the consumer when you don't, I have a problem with that. And I've had this issue for a while. I don't follow them on Instagram because they block me, right?
Yep.
I do follow them lightly when they post stuff because some of their stuff's really good. And that's the thing is the journalism side of what they do can be very, very good.
Yeah.
The problem that I have today today, meaning the last 6 months, 7 months, really since the PGA show when I really saw it at full blast. Don't tell people that you're unbiased when you're getting paid. I got a problem with that.
Yeah, I do too.
And that's a big problem for me. When you're doing infomercials and when you're doing all the stuff that you're doing, and you're trying to tell people, but we're, we said it earlier, well, we're unbiased and we don't, we're out there representing Joe Schmo consumer guy. We're not trying to influence him. You're wrong. They are 100% trying to influence the market. They don't care about how anybody navigates it. They just care that they navigate them towards what they get paid the most for. And look, I would love for them to set me straight. Show me the financials. Show me the contracts. Set me straight.
Yeah, Corey Kasich had a good little rant about him.
Yeah.
That I enjoyed. And I know a couple people that have tried to work with them that have been told, hey, you want to be involved? You buy some ad space. And as a golf fan, I love it when anybody wants to talk golf. Anybody wants to put golf information out there. And I've always said, personally, their journalism stuff.
Yeah, what you're really into.
I really enjoy it. I love reading it. I love reading the articles. And I love it when they really put in the work. And not that they don't.
Because they do.
Because they do. They work hard. And Adam has grown a brand that he is
Hold
proud.
on, though. I want to pause right there. What did you just say?
Well,
Adam is what?
Grown a brand.
Okay. So let me just be clear. This is a pet peeve of mine.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not here to build his flippant empire. Meaning, why is he building an empire? And if he is, how can I trust him? Like, honestly, this is the same thing that I have a problem with in a lot of ways. Like, when you're looking for help, when you're looking for people to listen to, people to lead you in certain areas of your life, whatever that might be, personal, professional, golf, hobby, you name it, right?
Yeah.
There are definitely experts out there, okay?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of important things that they can say. But you have to know how to sift through what is applicable to you and what you truly can align yourself to, and what is just them building their empire. And that's my problem with them, is they're not here to educate the consumer. And look, we're not here to educate the consumer either. We're here to help people navigate it the way we can. And that's it. And this isn't a competition. We're in no way, no one's in competition with these guys. I think that's part of my problem. Like,
yeah, I've always said, when the reviews that we do and the articles that we do on the blog, I'm not a big data critic. I don't try to represent numbers. The way I do the reviews is it's how I play it.
it's personal.
It's personal. It's I take a club, I go out, I play it. This is what I find with this club, how it relates to my swing. And this is what I find, and that's what I try to put out there.
And we're not trying to, and most of them, I mean, to your point, you said this the other day, you're passionate about the storytelling side of it because it is going to have a personal effect on you, and you want to share that personal experience. That's a story. It's not statistics, And I think that's one of my things, though, is don't tell everyone that you're unbiased when you're trying to build your brand.
Yep.
Just saying. If you're going to build your brand, then say, hey, this is who I like. What Man of the Year movie? Those of you that have seen it with Robin Williams, I just want everybody to put all the lobbyists, like NASCAR does, on their jumpsuit, and just say these are all the people that represent me.
You see the senators with their ties all the way.
Yeah.
Logos down their ties.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Because I would prefer that. Just be honest about it. And this brings us to their most recent videos. One of them in particular as it relates to golf balls. and you share that. It just made me mad.
Yeah, it really did. So they're doing this thing where they're cutting open golf balls, and I got a post that I've written about it, and Ryan and I have discussed it a little bit, and I see there's a couple different ways that I can see it being beneficial to the game, and there's other ways that I could see it being a detriment. And if they're looking at the side of it to where people are purchasing a ball based on what the manufacturer is telling them this ball is, and they're finding out that that is not the case, I'm fine with that.
That's journalism.
That's journalism. I'm fine with that. Bring the data, do the test, prove that this is not what's happening, and go with that.
But be aware how you present that.
I just didn't like the way that they did it.
Yeah, it's because if you're going to do that, you do it with everybody.
It came off. It was almost like they wanted to. I don't even know how to say it. I just felt like it was, hey, don't believe this company because they're lying to you.
No, and I agree. But I don't think it was just the company. I think they straight up decided that they wanted to prove that direct-to-consumer model is cheaper, less effective, and not as good as buying the name brand balls you've been buying for forever.
Yeah.
That's at least how it came across to me.
Yeah, and they made some good points about with Titleist, and because we were talking about this, and with a golf ball, you can't quality check a golf ball after the fact.
Right.
You know, and I'm sure there is a room in these golf ball manufacturers where they randomly take 20 balls, cut them open, and check and make sure that they're consistently getting the same thing. I'm certain of it. Now, the places over in Asia that are doing it, maybe not so much. You know, maybe they're not doing that because.
So I'm going to say something there.
Okay.
I think that's a very brash generalization that they also made.
Yeah.
And that's, look, I am as American as they come. I'm all about supporting our country. But I'm also about supporting anybody who's willing to manufacture something. And there is equally as much crap that comes out of America.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As there is that comes out of other places. And I know that's not what you were saying.
No,
I know that's not what you're saying.
This is just...
But my point is that we have it's like the people that used to say, well, Nike's clubs are forged in China. They must be crap. Well, they weren't.
Yeah, clearly.
Bottom line. You know? TaylorMade stuff's forged in China. Hello? Anyone?
Yeah.
You know, must be crap. You know? And I think that's the thing is for me. I think what you pointed out, the quality control side of it has to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't. One of their points was that anybody can go to their website, register, and buy golf balls, and you can put your logo on it and you can sell it. And that's what a lot of these companies that Titleist went after and shut them down, they were doing. They were buying their golf balls and they were putting their logo on it. And to their point that they had that I found some validity behind is there's no expertise in that. There's no engineering in it. You're not bringing anything new to the table. You are, you have an email address and you have some money and you bought golf balls and then you're reselling them. Okay, people do that. That's business. People do that. And so I think one of their ideas behind it was, hey, this golf ball that is selling for $12 is the same golf ball that's selling for $25, is the same golf ball that's selling for $35. So if they're trying to inform the consumers, hey, look, just because they say it's this and it's this price doesn't mean that's what it is.
Right.
And I'm okay with that side of it. I just wish they would have gone a little bit more.
I think you have to do it with everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think if you're going to present that, you need to present everybody, because otherwise you're just presenting what you're presenting comes across. Hold on real fast. Microphone. By the way, this is the behind the scenes and how these podcasts really work. But I think, how do I put this so that it's, it's really hard to trust them.
Yeah, and that's what I said in the piece that I've written is when you're taking ad dollars and you're doing infomercials and
then you're coming out and you make a video that specifically targets the direct-to-consumer market. I'm sorry.
It makes you wonder the intent. At least it makes me wonder. It makes you wonder.
It makes me wonder.
It makes me wonder. And
it makes me immediately disregard all the truth that they may or may not be sharing. I don't care to pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah.
And look, they're cool with that. I mean, to give them credit, they don't care. And they don't listen to negativity. They don't care about it. They're like, oh, you're negative? Not interested.
Blocked.
And hey, if that's how they want to do that, that's fine.
It's their choice.
I'll never fault them for that. That's they're protecting their brand.
Yep.
But here's where I take issue. You can't be so worried about protecting your brand and then tell everybody that your brand is the only truth teller out there.
Right.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
And, I think it's one thing to do it with clubs. I think it's a completely other to do it in the golf ball market. I mean, people don't understand, golf balls as a whole make up a massive amount of the profitability, the functionality, and the success of these companies. And I think one thing that they didn't point out, why do we have direct to consumer? Why?
Because it's an option for people to...
Because these freaking golf balls are so expensive.
$55.
I mean, let me use something that's even that's closer in context, right? I'll use the FG Tour from Wilson. For the record, we partner with Wilson on a lot of the golf balls. Disclaimer: that's true because we tell you all the time, right? Yeah. Not hiding it
At all.
Right. But let me give you an example. The FG Tour compression is the same as my Tour BXS. Okay? Technologies are different. Both are great balls. I play them both regularly. Usually I play half a round with a Tour BXS and half a round with an FG Tour. Sometimes I do all the same. It depends how I'm feeling, right? But here's the reality. The reality is the FG Tour balls cost, I think, $35 for a dozen. They have the same compression as a Pro V1, same compression as a Tour BXS, similar covers, not the same, right? But I'm willing to buy them and play them. And for the record, I do buy those for all of you out there. I don't get those for free. I buy them myself because I want to play them and I don't want to spend $50 a dozen to play the Pro V1 when it doesn't even fit me as well. Actually, to be fair, it probably fits me the same.
Yeah. Well, the reason we partnered with Wilson, I saw Clayton at one of the shops here in town, and we started talking. And this was right as the Duo Pro was getting ready to come out. And he tossed me a sleeve, and he said, hey, go give him a try. And I played with it, and I was like, I was really impressed with it. I'm like, man, this is a good golf ball. And then I found the price point, and I'm like, wow, this is a good golf ball at a good price. And so when it came out, I picked up a box, and I played it, and I played 3-4 rounds with it, and I'm like, wow, this is... I'm kind of, I was playing at the time, I was playing the AVX, Titleist AVX, and I was happy with it. I wasn't looking to change anything, but, those, same thing, they're $45, dollars a box, $48 a box. And so when JT was with the blog, him and I both wanted a golf ball sponsor. That's one thing that I had wanted for years. And when I talked to Clayton about how happy I was with the ball, and I told him, I said, hey man, I would love to get Wilson on board. And so he reached out to his people, and we started talking, and
that happened.
And it happened.
Well, but here,
hang on, so real quick. When we were at the PGA show,
that's what I wanted to say.
We met Frank, and I listened to his spiel, and he was talking about the 29 compression Duo Soft, and it was intriguing. It was really interesting what he had to say about it. And so the last round we played in Florida,
they gave you a 2-ball pack, by the way.
Yes,
everybody at the PGA show got a 2-ball pack.
Yep,
of the Duo Soft. And
we played it at Winter Park, little Muni course, 9-hole Muni course in Orlando. That's amazing, by the way.
Not like any mini course you've ever played.
And I played really good with that golf ball.
You had spin.
And I couldn't believe it, you know? And so right after that, I had my surgery and I was down for 4 months. But coming back from surgery, that has been the only ball I've played. Now, Wilson sent us golf balls, and they sent us a couple cases of the Duo Professionals. I still have those in my golf closet in the garage.
And for a lot of golfers, they're really good.
Because I've been playing, I've been buying. We have a ball sponsor from Wilson, and I've been buying the Duo Soft because that golf ball fits my game right now.
And they're 2 for $35, which is
$17 a dozen. I mean, come on.
Cut those open, MyGolfSpy.
Yeah.
Freaking whatever. But I guess to come back to this, when you go after the ball market, it's going to get real sensitive because these manufacturers, they make a lot of money on this stuff.
Yep.
And I remember the Callaway Chrome Soft prior to graphene. I know we're going way into the weeds here. But the prior to the graphene release 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, when they put graphene in there, what most people didn't know was that the cores weren't stable. So literally they would have ovaling in the Chrome Soft ball.
Yeah.
And I played it for a year and a half, and I used to get so frustrated because I get one around. It wasn't like it was a bad shot. I'd get one around, hit it straight out the middle, and you could literally almost see it in the air. It would spin funky. I mean, iron shots, driver. It was most notable with the iron shots. And what did they recognize? Well, they said, hey, after all this testing, we've realized that our core's not complete. And it isn't working, so we're going to switch it to graphene, and it'll work better. Just dump it in there. And it'll work better. And guess what?
It worked better.
It worked better. And the graphene is better, you know? And it was never a bad ball. But because, like you said before, you can't quality test a golf ball after it's been made. It's just not that way, right? They looked at the results they were getting, made a change, and did it. Here's my point. How is that any better than what you just found, apparently, from Vice, who you called out?
Yeah.
You know? And I thought Vice handled it really professionally and very well. But I felt as if it was a direct attack against direct-to-consumer model.
Absolutely. And
I think that they're going to have a lot of work to do to start to
we talked about
change that, which clearly there was some blowback because they come out with a video today.
Yeah, they're talking about
saying, "Hey, sorry guys, we weren't trying to single anybody out, but you did."
Yeah, and I was I Need the Ball was part of the lawsuit, the Ashnet lawsuit a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was they went after all the direct-to-consumer golf ball companies at the time. It was Vice and I Need the Ball and 3UP and Monster and a couple other ones. And what I thought was strange about it was here you have a company that clearly is not in financial trouble, and they went after somebody that was taking 0.25% of the market share. So it obviously, something got under their skin. And I mean, patent infringement, I get it. I totally get it. And
that's something that's different though.
Yeah. And being close to the guys with I Need the Ball. I mean, they were 3 guys. One was in marketing, one was in warehousing, and one was in engineering. And they tried to do something different. They had a tungsten core, which no golf ball had a tungsten core. And they found a manufacturer that was going to make the ball for them. And that manufacturer wasn't upfront with them. And they used a dimple pattern that they shouldn't have used.
Right.
And when they found out about it, they stopped. They stopped selling them. They pulled them off their website. They went back to the drawing board and designed a whole new dimple pattern and created a whole new golf ball, but they weren't allowed to sell it.
So here's my question, though. How many golfers do you know, and this is somewhat rhetorical because I know the answer, Is it a fair statement to assume that the majority of golfers that you see or play with, known or unknown to you before you play with them, on a regular basis, typically play a Pro V1? Or at least they view that as the ball they try to play.
Absolutely.
How many of them are actually fit for it?
None of them.
And that's the thing.
There's a small few.
And credit to Bridgestone, 5 years ago.
Ball fitting.
Let's go get ball fit. We're fitting everything else.
Let's put it on the website.
Clayton talked about it when we were on the podcast before.
Yep.
It's not new to the industry. Mm-mm. Everybody's been doing, not everybody, but they've been doing it for a while. And yet, the average golfer says, well, I'm going to play the Pro V1 because they say it's the best.
Yep.
Because it's winning every weekend.
Winning every week with guys.
So it must be good, right? Except here, a great example is your fitting the other day. I had no idea your driver swing speed was 96 miles an hour.
Let's not talk about that.
Well, I had no idea mine was 114.
Yeah.
I thought I was swinging like 105 miles an hour. So now that I know I'm swinging 114 miles an hour, no wonder a 29 compression, 60 compression doesn't do so well with me.
Yeah.
I need something that's harder.
Yep.
Right? It's not rocket science. But because we don't go in and we don't go through the process and we don't take the time to get fit for them, it creates problems, right? So I think to circle back, a couple points specifically to the MyGolfSpy world. I'd love for them to come prove me wrong. But I'll tell you, my perception of them is that they are a completely biased organization. My perception is that they are only about building the MyGolfSpy brand, and they are not interested in what's best for the consumer. If they were interested in what's best for the consumer, they would include everyone. They would buy the clubs themselves if they couldn't get them for free, and they would literally test everything. And if you're not going to do that, don't say that you're only in it to help the consumer.
Yeah.
I think coming back to that. And then the last piece for this, be careful how you present things. When you're in this industry.
Yeah, I think that's what rubbed you.
In any industry.
Yeah.
But it very much rubbed me the wrong way. You don't, it completely, I perceived, and I clearly wasn't the only one. Corey Kasich went off about it. 3 or 4 other people went off about it as well. You felt this way, and you're much less sensitive to these guys than I am, right? But it certainly seems as if they attacked the direct-to-consumer market.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how much weight it has out there. I mean, they do have a huge following.
I don't think it has that much weight, but I think it creates uncertainty and dissension in the consumer that they supposedly represent.
Yeah, and it's unnecessary.
Right.
It's unnecessary. I mean, if you're happy playing a $20 direct-to-consumer golf ball, go play it.
Look,
go play it.
I've given Greg plenty of golf balls. I feel like there's a little Greg sandwich coming.
Wait a minute. No, we can't.
I've given him plenty of golf balls. I've seen him consistently hit the Duo Pro really well. I've also seen him consistently hit the Vice Pro really well.
Yeah, he plays that ball really good.
I've also seen him consistently hit the Tour BXS very well. Right? Like, I don't see enough for him to not want to play a ball that he enjoys.
Yeah.
And he enjoys the Vice ball. He likes what they're about. Good. Play it, represent it.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they allowed to be biased and no one else is? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But anyway, I could literally go for hours on this topic.
Yeah, we have.
I know. But anyway, okay, so circle the wagons here. Couple key points today. Go get fit, please.
Please go get fit.
And go find someone, when you're looking for a fitter, find someone that you communicate well with. And if you don't, walk out, find another fitter. This isn't about just trying to go buy the newest, greatest thing. It's about trying to get better at enjoying golf. And for most golfers, that means getting better at golf.
Yeah.
Right? I think that you can still have a good time not playing well. Right?
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you, I shot one of my worst rounds I've shot in years this last Friday. or this last Saturday.
I'm hoping that continues tomorrow.
Yeah, don't stop that. And yet, so I get it, right? And my worst round may not be the same as your worst round, but it feels the same.
Oh yeah, it does.
And there are days that you don't want to do it, but the great thing is I love the game, and sometimes the course beats me, and that's okay. That's part of what brings us back. You want to. It's the challenge.
Yeah, it's the challenge.
So, yeah. So what else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. We should probably just keep going because
how far are we?
We could break this up into like 4 episodes.
Oh my gosh! How long have we gone?
Too long.
Too long. All right. Well, let's stop it. Let's stop it with this. So my last word is from Chasing Daylight, from myself, Ryan, and I know I will dare to speak for you. Okay. I think in general, our focus as hobbyists who are passionate about growing the game and enjoying the game, I want to make it very clear that we don't aspire or intend to ever influence the market. All we're trying to do is help people navigate the market.
And if something that we say, something that we do, something that we showcase, something we talk about excites you and wants you to get out there and try it,
or frustrates you and you want to talk about it,
yeah, then
do it.
We have a voice line.
We have a voice line, and hopefully it won't just be me calling it creepy. But that's what we're about, right? And I think that's a good thing to point out.
Did you want to do your little Ryan likes to give stuff away.
I mean, I'm kind of an Easter egg guy.
He likes to give stuff away.
So we're gonna put a rule here in place. So the same person cannot win it within a 3-week span.
Which, Reed, if you've hung out this long and listened,
you deserve to win.
But Reed's one of our loyal listeners.
But you're not allowed to win.
You can't win this one. I feel bad because I had the stuff at the house and I forgot to bring it with me for you.
But
when we played yesterday. But the next round, I got stuff and because Reed won the last little giveaway that Ryan did.
So we're going to do a giveaway right now. And the giveaway is going to be in line with this direct-to-consumer market.
Yeah.
So I think that if you DM me, first person actually
no. Let's I don't want to do the DM.
Okay, what do you want to do this time?
I want to do the voice line.
Oh my god.
I want somebody to call in and
we'll do 2. We'll do 2. So we're 2 winners for this. Can't be the same. First person to DM me
at
ryan.golfs. Okay. And you need to DM me this statement. What should we say?
I don't know. It's your thing. Mine's easy. Leave a message.
DM me a hashtag. I got one here.
Okay.
Hashtag build your own empire.
Ooh.
First person to DM me hashtag build your own empire. Okay. I'll also accept just DMing me build your own empire. Gets a dozen cut golf balls.
Oh, there you go.
Cut gray. New version. They have the Fadel Golf logo on them. Dozen Fadel Golf logoed cut gray golf balls. First person there. First person to leave a voicemail that says what?
Send me the cut golf balls.
Also gets a dozen cut gray.
No, hey, look, we really want to get people, 1, listening to the podcast, but 2, interacting. I mean, we can sit here, honestly, Ryan and I could sit here for 2-3 hours and talk golf. But we would love to get your guys' input on some things and your loves for the game, your frustrations with the game, what you'd like to hear us talk about, guests we'd want to have on the show, blah, 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 stuff like that.
Give us a good topic.
Yeah.
So leave a voicemail with a good topic, which I'd much prefer. Leave a voicemail with a good topic, and maybe if you're willing, we'll call you.
Get you on the show.
Our next podcast, we'll get you on the show, and we'll give you a cool prize for doing it. How about that?
I like that.
But we do have the Easter egg is DM me, build your own empire, or leave a voicemail that says send me cut golf balls.
Yep.
And we're going to send you a dozen cut gray 2019 golf balls. Direct to consumer that actually are really good golf balls as well. I think they're like 55 or 60 compression, 3-piece urethane covers. Goodness. Okay? Does that work?
I like it.
Let's do this.
I like it.
All right, Duke Kaboom.
So you're headed off to Florida.
Headed off to Florida.
I'm gonna stick around here. I gotta try and get my schedule worked out. I really want to go to Logan's open house that he's having.
I haven't told Al yet, but I'm going.
To what?
Logan's open house.
Well, then I'm coming with you.
Okay, just don't tell our wives.
Okay.
My wife actually listens, so hopefully she won't listen to me.
Allie, don't listen to this.
I don't know why we're whispering.
I don't know either.
Whispering's my favorite.
So, yeah, we're going to get that worked out because
Cool.
it looks, I got an email from him today about all the stuff that's going on, and that's going to be a really good time.
And I think another thing I want to say, what a cool time. Look at how many putter manufacturers, club manufacturers, every price point, every variation, they're all awesome. It's exciting to be here.
There's so many options.
There's a lot on the market right now. Talk to us. Let us know if you want to talk about stuff, if you want feedback, if you want to know something about a company, and if we don't know it, we'll find out. So yeah, let's do it.
Right on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. This one went a little long. It's probably our longest episode yet, so it's going to be.
Please break this up into two.
May have to break it up. We'll have pre-technical difficulties, post-technical difficulties.
Also, if you're a cigar person and you like giving away free cigars, we accept free cigars. DM me. I'll send you my address. I'll send you some cool stuff in exchange.
Yes. The AmCaddy interview is coming. I promise you that.
I'm excited about that.
There's some really good stuff coming from that. I know I've talked about it on a couple episodes, but that is coming. We're just trying to. He is a busy man, and we're just trying to catch him on the right schedule.
Yep.
Also, I talked with Jack Trent last night. He is the current champion for the Southern Highland Collegiate Masters. He's a UNLV golfer.
Yes.
With that win, he got himself entry into the Shriners.
Oh, so cool.
So he has agreed to come on and chat about what he's doing, prepping for that, his year at UNLV, and what he's looking forward to this upcoming season. We also have, who else did I?
If you want to come to the Shriners, let us know. I'd love to get a huge group together.
Oh,
I'd even be willing to put a little golf tournament together for it.
It's a fun tournament. It really is.
It'd be a blast.
TBC Summerlin's a great course, and I enjoy going every year.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Text line, chat line is, I know I'm just pounding it. It's 702-518-1864. So leave us a message. Follow Ryan.golfs on Instagram. I'm at the Breakfast Ball Golf Blog. And Chasing Daylight Podcast is also on Instagram. It's where we post updates on that. So
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. And
Go get those Easter eggs.
have a good evening.
Bye.